there are not going to be fruits here? No fruits. Yeah. So what is that called? Well, the plants which do not give fruit and just multiply? No. There is some name, no? No. There is some name. Like the plants which do not give fruit or seed, and you can simply multiply by stem. There is a particular name given to that. Huh? No. No, there is a name given to that. That one. Huh? There is a biological name given to the plants which do not give fruit or seed. They simply, like in reproduction, there is one word like through seed, without seed, there is a name, no? Anyway, try to recall. So, okay, nice. Okay. Now, no seed. The plants which do not have seed or fruit, what are they called? What are they called? Crypto. Okay. Cryptogram. Okay, fine. Nice. How about the property? What will happen if you eat the leaves? Is it going to nurture your body? No. So it will have a different property than a mango tree, isn't it? Nice. And the same natural characteristic and the innateness. Nice. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So seed means something by which it multiplies. Yeah. So basically, if you cut any part and then plant it, the same kind of tree will come up. That's the meaning of seed here. How about this belladonna plant then? How about the form we can see? You are able to see the form? Okay. How about the property? Can we eat it? Is it nurturing or worsening for us? Worsening. Is it always worsening? So when is it worsening, when is it nurturing? Is it always worsening for a human being? Yeah, when you use in medicine, it is going to nurture us. If you use its that milk part and make some medicine, it is going to nurture also.
So it is used in antiseptic
It
particles,
can
chemicals.
cure your body also. Okay, when you are making antiseptic, what is happening there? Is it nurturing or worsening? Worsening to the bacteria, nurturing to the body.
Yes.
Nice. Then natural characteristic and innateness same. Pardon? Tell me what bacteria belongs to which order? Bio order or animal order? How do we decide? Yeah. How about the mosquito? It belongs to bio order or animal order? Bio order. Snake. How do we find out?
If there is a developed brain, then that belongs to animal order. If there is no developed brain, then that belongs to.
What is development?
Whether the brain function is existing.
Okay, so we'll have to see in a snake whether there is self or not. If the self is there, then it can belong to the animal order. If the self is not there, then bio order only. Yes. So can snakes take revenge? Can a plant take revenge? No. Can even a bio order take revenge? Maybe an animal order unit can take. So we have to again examine all those things, whether we are talking about the unit of bio order or animal order. Maybe there is some snake with a self, could be possible. If that is the case, then it could be possible. If that is not there, it is not possible. As simple as this. So you have to again look at the body of the snake.
Bhaiya, snakes have a very wide range of bodies.
Yes.
Right from the smallest possible snake to the huge snakes also. So if you are taking into consideration a small snake, so it may not have a brain also.
Yeah.
Rather than developed brain, it may
We
not.
have to find out. How about fish? Fish belongs to the bio order or animal order?
Now the scientists have started telling that micro snakes are there, nano snakes are there. So in that case, brains may not exist also.
How about fish? Bio order, animal order? Yeah. In MCQ, you are going to score 100 out of 100. Oh, okay. Very nice. Okay. Now, how about this cow? Animal order. Form? Yeah, so shape, size. How about the density? You are talking about the cow or the body of cow? So how about the self? Does it have a form? So does self have a form? Limited in size. So it has a size. How about shape? Yes. No. Yeah. So maybe we are not able to see it. We do not have that level of competence, but it's not there everywhere, isn't it? So it has a shape, it has a size, fine. And not it, me, I. So I have a shape, I have a size, isn't it? Nice. So when you look at the form of a cow, we have to talk about self as well as body, right? How about the property? What? Property of cow. Effect of cow on other units. So what is the effect of cow on plants? Yeah. So again, I can see the effect of cow on other things, isn't it? So the effect of cow on other units of nature, including the human being, that would be the property. So if you go to a cow, some cow would simply bow down and allow you to pat its body. There would be some cow who would be pushing you with the horns. So two cows may have different properties. There would be some cow who would be very docile. There would be some cow who would be very cruel kind of cow. And variation in the self, the conduct of self is largely owing to the variation in the body. So if you look at the
No, with respect to the behavior with the humans, some animal is bowing down, some animal is sucking the horns. In that sense, can we say that it is because of the
it is because of the self. The decision is by there by the self.
Huh.
So decision is there of the self, isn't it?
Okay.
But the decision of the self, is it what is the reason behind the difference in the decision of the self? So assuming, okay, and you can see that the assuming in the self of the animal is largely governed by the body.
Yeah, that is true.
Assuming in the self of the animal is largely governed by the body. But in the human being, it is not like that. The assuming in the self of human is not largely governed by the body, because the self is more developed. Yeah. So it may be the case that we have one self here and another self here. So it is possible that this self goes to the body of the tiger. Quite possible. They have different kind of conduct. Now if you go to pat the back of the tiger, you can see what will happen. Yeah. Tiger starts patting on you. No, so it may be the case that they have conditioned it like that. Quite possible. Eating. In fact, there is a story that a person tamed a tiger. Okay, and it was just behaving like a docile animal. And this person someday got wound in the knee and blood was coming out. And this tiger started licking it, and then the original tiger came out. This person sensed that this is going to harm me now, so killed it. There is a story like that. Yeah. So cow, property we can see, the effect of the cow on other units, and the effect of other units on the cow, isn't it? Effect of one unit on another unit. Natural characteristic. Yes. So in the eye, self, and body. Body of the cow, what is the natural characteristic? No. No. Nurturing and worsening, yes, along with composition, decomposition. The body is similar to a bio unit, isn't it? So the composition, decomposition and nurturing, worsening in the body of the cow. And self, cruel and non-cruel, isn't it? So mostly it is non-cruel. But can it become cruel? If you try to hit the calf in front of the cow, just see what happens. It can become cruel, isn't it? So this, you will see, yes.
Bhaiya, I have a doubt with respect to the self. Human self have accumulated sanskars.
Yeah.
Similarly, will the animal self, the self in animal, will it have sanskars accumulated with it?
Yeah, but mostly at the level of expectation.
Okay. Maybe
So
I'm not able to understand.
We have much more dominant sanskar because we have sanskar at the level of desire.
Okay.
They will have sanskar only at the level of expectation. So we may not call it sanskar also, but that is a conditioning.
So what happens if this cow, the self of this cow is going to take the body of the tiger, as you mentioned? If something is going to happen like that, won't the behavior of the tiger changes?
So in tigers also you can see a difference in behavior.
Bhaiya, I don't need.
Among tigers also you can see a difference in behavior.
Okay.
But again, that was just a question. So whether this self is going to coexist with this body or not will depend on the development of the body. The composition, decomposition in the body, to what extent the brain is developed. So for that we have to examine to what extent the brain of the cow is developed, to what extent the brain of tiger is developed.
No, the self of this cow can take the body of the tiger based on the development of the brain.
Yes.
But brain is a part of a body.
Yes.
How can we, then that becomes the sanskar, right?
No. Brain is not a part of sanskar. Sanskar is there in the self.
Bhaiya, once again, Bhaiya, please. I was not able to hear that. So.
Sanskar is there in the self.
Yes, Bhaiya. Yes, sanskar is in self. Yeah. So as you mentioned, if the cow has a brain and it has developed something, certain things, and if the self is going to get transferred to the tiger, then the activities of the brain will having an impact on the self, isn't it? So that is the sanskars.
No. Brain is a body. The sanskar is something that is there in the self.
Okay.
Whether at the level of expectation or thought or desire.
Okay, okay.
That is going to be there with the self.
Okay.
Now, since the body is more dominant here because the self is less developed.
Okay.
So, if you look at the body of this tiger, if if you try to differentiate between herbivorous animal and carnivorous animal, there are multiple issues like the claws, the this thing, the nails in the claws,
Yes.
the length of the intestine. If you look at the herbivorous animal, the length of the intestine is 24 feet. In the carnivores, it is only 12 feet.
Okay.
So many differences are there. If you look at the canine teeth, it is there in the carnivorous, not in the herbivorous. So that kind of difference is there. So owing to that, there will be a difference in the conduct of the self also.
Okay. So their body is dominating.
Pardon? Body is dominant. Yeah. Even if you do not have canine teeth, but the self is dominant here. Like that, yes.
So, when the self develops, will it make any change in the brain?
Yeah, so you'll see that presently also, if I am trying to be happy by favorable sensation, by favorable feeling outside, I am utilizing the brain many times to get something from outside. But if the source of happiness is innate to me, I do not have to use brain to be happy. So I use brain in a different way. And you can observe this. For example, when you are preparing for some competitive exam, you are using your brain in one way. When you are serving people, you are using your brain in some other way. When you are taking rest, you are using your brain in some other way. When you are doing so many things at the same time.
No, finally the form of the
The composition,
outward
decomposition.
appearance,
Yeah,
or that finally the size or
appearance
something.
is the form, okay. And if you look at the activities in the
Size
brain,
and shape of the brain will change depending
yeah.
on the development of the.
activities in the brain will be different. Some are more sophisticated, some are less sophisticated. So suppose you are given a control system where 30 controls are there in front of you at the same time. You have to take care of all of them simultaneously. You can see to what extent you have to employ your brain. Isn't it? Yeah, pilot. So you have to utilize your brain in that manner. You are running a business with 30 departments and you have to take care of all the departments. So you have to use your brain in a different manner. So the activity of the brain is going to be determined by the way you utilize the brain. Nice?
Bhaiya, a question regarding cruelty, non-cruelty. Are we giving this as a, from our side, that is the animals, they become cruel as a protective mechanism, that's one thing. Maybe for food also they kill other animals, that's one thing. So are we giving this as a notion to them as they are cruel or non-cruel?
Yeah, so basically to fulfill the needs of the body, one animal is killing some other animal. It is being called as cruelty.
Is it our perspective?
Yeah, so ultimately we have to observe the activity. Now a cow is not killing any other animal to feed its body, but tiger is doing that. So tiger, if you look at the tiger, it is killing one unit of the animal order to fulfill the needs of the body. So one unit of animal order killing some other unit of the animal order, we can call it as cruelty. To the animal or the tiger, it does not appear as cruelty. It is a part of its life. But we can see that this is cruelty. And we can see that this is not acceptable to me naturally when I have to do the same thing with other human being. If to fulfill my needs, if I have to kill some human being, it is certainly not acceptable to me naturally. So in the tiger, if you see, the self is not so developed. In the tiger, the self is not so developed that it can refer to the natural acceptance. Yeah, so if you look at the design of the body of the tiger, it is in such a way that it has to kill some other animal to feed its body. But if you look at our design of the body, it is not in such a way that you have to kill anything to feed our body. No, not labeling. I'll say that we can observe it and see what is happening. You do not call it cruelty, you call it X, Y, Z, whatever. But the animal has to kill some other animal to fulfill its need. Now this cow does not have to kill some other animal to fulfill its need. So that is the difference between a cow and a tiger.
Is it the cruelty? I mean, human beings are also cruel, some human beings. We cannot say, like the human beings, the animals are cruel, can we?
So if we are cruel, then we are unhappy with that. Now if you look at the innateness of the animal, it just wants to live. It does not want to live with happiness. We not only want to live, but we want to live with happiness in continuity. So that will to live with happiness is not there. So it is not being unhappy also by killing. But if we have to kill someone to survive, we feel unhappy doing that, isn't it? Because what is acceptable to us naturally is relationship, harmony. That is not fulfilling relationship. That is not fulfilling the harmony between me and the other.
Is it anywhere connected with the senses we have and the animal have, like 5 sense, 6 sense?
Those 5 senses are there in the animal also.
That's why we have that
But
sense.
they are devoted towards living. We are having those 5 senses in the body, but they are meant to utilize the body as an instrument for right understanding, right feeling. For example, in this workshop, we are utilizing all the 5 senses, isn't it? For what? For right understanding. There is no assembly of tigers working for right understanding.
So the cruelty is fine for animals, but not for the humans.
Yeah, but if you see, like our cruelty, if we become cruel, is somewhat unregulated, uncontrolled. If you look at their cruelty, it is regulated. So, for example, a tiger, it will kill a deer.
Only one deer for its hunger.
One day it will kill, eat for 7 days. If you just see the tiger has eaten the deer, it is lying there, deers are again moving here and there around him. There is no problem with the deer, there is no problem with the tiger also. Now when it again becomes hungry, then again it will do something. But we humans, we are fighting unnecessarily. Ukraine, the population of Ukraine is in lakhs. Enough land to survive. Russia, the largest nation on this planet, has enough land to survive. At one point of time, it had to give one part of the nation to America because it was not able to manage that part of the land. So much land is there in Russia, that Alaska region if you see, right? But still they are fighting for land, isn't it? They are cruel. They are doing cruelty for nothing, and there is no limit to it. For the past, I think 2 years now, no? Yeah, every day bombarding is taking place. It has become like a breakfast. Wake up in the morning, plant a bomb, go back. Pardon? Now we have to decide our participation. What is our participation with the cow? Yeah. So here again, cruel and non-cruel. How about innateness? Innateness. So in the body there is growth, and in the will to live, in the self will to live. Nice. How about this? Oh, it is too heavy. थोड़ा सा इधर करते हैं, नीचे कर देते हैं, यहाँ नीचे. अरे वहाँ रख दे तुम. Yeah, so adult male, adult female, child male, child female. Forms we can see different. The form keeps on changing also. Form of the body with time, it keeps on changing. How about the property? So the body has its property. If you look at the male body, it has one kind of property, female body another kind of property, child body one kind of property, grown up body another kind of property, isn't it? Natural characteristic of the body same as bioorder, isn't it? And natural characteristic of the self. What is the natural characteristic of the self? Yeah, perseverance, brevity and generosity. Okay. Pardon? Knowing, assuming is activity. Good. Nice. So what does perseverance mean? Continuous hard work to be what? Continuous hard work to be the richest person in the world. Will it help? Will it help? No. What is perseverance? Right understanding? Yeah. Yeah. So basically perseverance means that I am resolved within. So in no situation I do get anxious, perturbed, disturbed, uncomfortable. In every situation I am always thinking in terms of relationship, harmony and coexistence. This is perseverance. So being resolved within, so that every time my imagination is always towards relationship, harmony and coexistence. What is brevity? Courage of what? देख लूंगा दिखा दूंगा है ना. What is brevity? So brevity is the way I am resolved, I am always ready to resolve the other. That is the brevity. So if you look at people in the tradition also, those who have worked for harm in the society, always ready to work for the society, for relationship, for harmony, we call them as brave. So brevity is my readiness to resolve the other with the resolution within. And generosity? So with perseverance, with brevity, the readiness to invest my mind, body and wealth to resolve the other. That is generosity. So with right understanding, naturally we will have this characteristic. The more we are able to develop right understanding in us, we are ready to invest ourselves for undivided society, universal human order. Is that true? Yeah. And we will see that we can evaluate our development from here. How much perseverance I have now. Earlier it might be the case that I used to get impatient, I used to get anxious, angry, revengeful. No longer I do get revengeful, no longer do I get anxious. I am patient with me all the time, and I am always trying to find out the solution in place of complaining about problems. So this way we can evaluate that I am developing as a human being. And the readiness to help. Somebody is having some problem, to help with him, what to do with me. He is living in my neighborhood. Now this is somewhat going away. We are feeling concerned about the others. We are feeling concerned about the human tradition. We are feeling concerned about the entire planet, isn't it? So that brevity is coming up, and the generosity is also coming up. We are having self-funded workshops, isn't it? So people are contributing to make people understand. So generosity. How about the innateness? Will to live with continuous happiness, isn't it? Nice. So we did one exercise. Will we now doing some more exercises? कैसे दिखेगा? दिखेगा नहीं दिखेगा?
Natural acceptance.
Nice. D. Okay. ठीक है. Okay. 2.
D to understand the role of human being in coexistence. 2D. D. D.
Okay, D. B for ball. Okay, ठीक है. So the goal of the course is to explore the human reality in more depth, to explore nature and existence, to understand the role of human being in existence, but not validate different theories.
B.
This is not the goal of the course, है ना? ठीक है, nice. Yes, Didi. Third question. One by one. Okay. Okay. Which of the following is true?
Feeling of partiality is a part of
A. Okay, nice. A. 4.
right understanding, right feelings, and physical. C.
C.
Living
C.
with human
Nice.
conscious.
4C. 5.
Participate in a universal human.
மற்ற ஆப்ஷன்லாம் பார்க்கும்போது நம்ம படிச்ச வார்த்தை அது ஒன்று தான் தெரியும். மற்ற ஆப்ஷன்லாம்
B. Okay, B. Nice. B.
Complementarity.
C. Okay. ठीक है, nice. C.
Trust is every entity of nature. Trust in every entity of the nature. B, Baya.
B. Trust.
Trust is only for human relationship, not in every.
B or D or C. What? B. Okay, nice. Trust in every human being, not every entity.
Comparison, which was one dimension of realization.
Which is a dimension?
Which was realization.
Okay, nice. C. Yes, Didi.
Correct qualification.
Which of the following give the correct qualification for the course? Didi, go down. Didi, go down.
Ah, that's what. 1, 3. 1, 3 and 4, Baya. D.
D. Okay. D. 1, 3, 4. Nice.
Pleasures in life.
C. Okay, nice. C. ठीक है. Assignment. हाँ, 2 also. B. Okay. ठीक है. B.
So, question paper mathanga. Self is the central for the existence. Human existence. Human existence. Human existence. D, D.
Look at the options closely.
D, da. Self is the center of human existence.
D. ठीक है. D. Self is central to human existence.
Human
Not
existence.
coexistence or existence. Okay.
Knowing always guides the assuming. Knowing may or may not be guided by assumptions. B, Baya. Knowing always guides the assumption, assuming.
So what is the right answer? No, B for ball.
Ball. The B, da.
Assumptions may be based on preconditioning also.
Yes, a certificate.
Okay, let me read out. Assuming guides the knowing. Is it true? No. Knowing always guides the assuming.
By if you are in a knowing state, it will guide the
There can be no imagination without knowing. No. D. Okay, nice. May or may not guide. Right.
Baya. Baya, in that case, if you are in a state of knowing, then your second level assumption will be completely.
If knowing is ensured, then only na.
Ah. In that state, B is also correct, na?
Eh?
Knowing always guides the assuming. Yeah, this is it. Right, that is also right statement, no? Baya, still confusion.
Tell me.
Knowing always guides the assuming when you are in the state of realization, then that statement is also correct, na?
Yeah, but assuming may be unguided also, no?
That may be unguided by the knowing, but the second statement, how come it is wrong? You are asking what will be the right.
It is also having a meaning that assuming is always guided by knowing.
Knowing always guides the assuming. Always.
Knowing,
Bhaiya, in that case, if I have certain understanding on certain things, which are my right understanding, so that will become my knowing.
yeah.
So that knowing always guides
Okay,
my
so we can rephrase it. Assuming is always guided by knowing. Then that is wrong, okay? We can rephrase it.
Because by
Assuming is always guided by knowing, then it is wrong, for sure.
you know,
Okay? We can rephrase it like that. Nice. Choose the correct set of statements. Okay.
see Baya.
See. Self is the seer, body is an instrument. Okay. Next.
Two, three Baya. Yeah.
physical order தானே
Consciousness.
இருக்குல்ல
1, 2, 3 Baya.
அப்புறம் எப்படி ஒன்னு வரும்
Consciousness is continuous.
What
It's
is
not
right?
ever. Consciousness is continuous.
continuous is ever both is ரெண்டு தான்
Self is ever. 1, 2, 3 Baya.
ஒன்லயே எனக்கு டவுட் இருக்கு
So material is temporary? Yes. Consciousness is continuous? Space is ever? Self is ever? No. Self is continuous, not ever.
But what if the self is gonna be more subtler to the space? In that case, it is ever, na?
So ever means unlimited in time, unlimited in space.
Space.
That is ever. So the space is ever.
Bhaiya, the first point, material is temporary. Material is a unit, but it always exists, which comes in physical order. So,
Yes.
how can you say that as
Nice
temporary?
question. So the innateness of material is existence. It always exists. So how can it be temporary? I am asking. It changes from one form to another form.
Yeah,
Formation and deformation takes place. Yes. So that's how it is temporary. Pardon? Yes, usage is temporary. Basically, if you look at it, yes. So material is going to exist forever. It is going to be, but the constitution changes, by virtue of which composition, decomposition is taking place. That's how it is temporary. So that is nice. The conscious entity as well as the material entity have innateness as existence. They are going to be there, forever. But still, material is temporary, consciousness is continuous, and space is ever. So the three words have been used very specifically.
since we classify the units to be material unit and consciousness unit, and hence I got this doubt.
Okay.
But yeah, also self some time over, when it become more subtler and subtler and subtler, it will be the space.
It is continuous. It is not going to be there for all space.
Not for all the space,
Yeah,
but
it is going to be limited in space. So it is unlimited in time, but limited in space.
material may
Limited in
become
time, limited in space.
that understood, Bhaiya, but will there be a pariman from material to conscious? Conscious can become a space.
We are not saying this.
Is
See,
it?
space is space. Consciousness cannot get converted into space. This is not what is being proposed. I can see the space, but I am not the space. I can see the space. I can see submergence in space, but I am going to be limited in space.
Feel this as a material. Now we are understanding this is being conscious. If you go more subtler of it, you can see this is a space.
So seeing is there, fine. I can see the entire existence. I can see all the, all that exists. But doesn't mean that I am going to be all that exists. Nice. So see.
1 minute, 1 minute. Bhaiya, can
It
you,
is working, Didi.
Bhaiya, can you kindly distinguish between ever and continuous, please?
So unlimited in time and unlimited in space is ever. Unlimited in time, but limited in space is continuous.
Unlimited in time means
Means it is going to be the same constitution.
there is no end to it, na? There is no interruption. That is ever.
No,
And
that is continuous.
And what about continuous? It is the same thing.
No. Like if you look at yourself,
Huh.
the self, you are going to be there.
Okay.
Your all activities are going to be there with you. It's not that expectation gets disintegrated sometime, isn't it? So
No,
we are,
when the body is separated,
yeah, you are there.
I am there. That means I am existing. I am ever.
No, ever means unlimited in space also. I am there everywhere. Is that so? No. Space is there everywhere. I am not there everywhere.
Okay.
So in that sense, only this word ever has been used in UHV3 or UHV. Pardon? No.
Sir, I have understood, and material is temporary. I am also sure that consciousness is continuous, space is ever, but I am not very much convinced with self is not ever, because according to my thought process, I was thinking self is also ever. So can you please
So have
help
you
me
been
in
through,
this?
Have you been through UHV workshops?
UHV2 up
Okay,
to
okay,
UHV2?
fine. You have not been attending this one.
No, this one only this session. From this session onwards, yeah.
So we'll talk about it also. So when we talk about the entire existence, we'll see how material unit is limited in time, limited in space. Conscious unit, that is self, is unlimited in time but limited in space. For example, you are there, I am here. You are different unit, I am a different unit. But space is there everywhere. So space is unlimited in time, unlimited in space also. So for unlimited in time, unlimited in space, the word that is being used is ever. Yeah, so we are not going by the literal meaning. Yeah. Nice. Sorry, Didi, this was working. Okay, but that may be the issue. इसको थोड़ा छोटा कर दीजिए नहीं तो. Set of statements. Every unit is limited in size. True or false? Limited in size? Space is transparent and no activity. Yes. The material units coexist with consciousness units to make the bioorder. No, false. The material units need the consciousness unit to be self-organized. The material units need the consciousness units to be self-organized. Pardon? True or false? So does the building need me? No. 1 and 2. Nice. So
Bhaiya,
answer is B.
Bhaiya, what is meant by that statement? Space is transparent.
दीदी थोड़ा दिक्कत है कचक कर देगी. Space is transparent. Yes. What does it mean? So I can see through space. It is not obstructing. For example, this wall. This wall is not transparent. I cannot see behind the wall. But I can always see through space. It is transparent. Through space only, every unit is recognizing the relationship with every other unit. There is no hindrance, there is no obstruction there. That's how it is transparent. Nice. Which of the following is true? दीदी कर दीजिए थोड़ा, वो आ नहीं रहा. छठा. Question 6. Question 6. Yes, tell me about the fourth one. So do the material units, yeah. So material unit by itself is self-organized. The material unit does not require me to be self-organized, isn't it? It is self-organized. All these units are self-organized. They don't need us to be self-organized. So B. Nice, Didi. Next. Which of the following is true? How about A? So they are not submerged. Merged. Yes, submerged, not merged. Yes. So C, nice. A, B, C or D? A, okay, nice. Which of the following is not a part of imagination of the self? Contemplating, okay. Comparing? C, not an activity. Nice. C. B, self by self.
Self by self.
ठीक है.
Irre.
So you have done 2 assignments, है ना?
भैया కొంచెం tough
Okay, we can do
assignment
few more questions. 2 more minutes remaining. Bhaiya, it is break time by 3:30. Okay.
Yes.
2 minutes. Okay. Wait. Didi has a question. Yes. Give mic.
Self.
If the material is self-organized without self, then what is the need of self with respect to material?
Yeah. So material does not require the self, but I am there, very much there. I require the material. The material does not require me.
I need.
I require the material. The material does not require me. So if you look
So
at
no-
a forest, in the forest, if human beings are not there, the other 3 orders are very well, है ना, surviving with each other. Even if you see the bio order and physical order, they are very much available, no issues. Okay. Question 1. Self receives instruction from the body, self instructs the body, body reads sensation from the self, self receives material transaction from the
B
body.
भैया. B, 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 B.
How about D? D?
No, body reads sensation from self. No, information. Body reads, self read the sensation.
B. B for Bombay. Okay, ठीक है B.
நீங்கள் எவ்வளோ
ओके दीदी एक बार एंटर करके ना अगले पेज पे ले लीजिए उसको
is by the self.
बाय द सेल्फ ए नेक्स्ट
அதான் நான் யூஎஸ்ல பாஸ் ஆயிட்டேன்.
लास्ट क्वेश्चन
Seer. Seer.
This is a little tricky question. Think about it.
B by
What
a
will be
B
the right
by
answer?
B.
Yesterday we had discussed it.
B. 1 and 4. B, B, B,
See?
B, 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 B. B by a.
In fact, somehow the right answer is missing.
Yeah. Seer only. Only one.
1, 3 and 4.
1, 3 and 4. Enjoy it. Doer is outside. Okay.
In fact, we can say that block B1 is also the doer. Okay, we can say, but presently that would be again between understanding, like distinguishing between dynamic activity and state activity. But we are not going to do that. So going by the discussion that we had yesterday, 1, 3 and 4. Yeah. So that option is not here. So it is the seer, it is the enjoyer, it is the observer also. So we'll keep up to here. It is tea break time. The lectures. Discussing lecture 9. Now we come to lecture 10 and 11. Basically lecture 10 and 11 have been put together. And in fact we have largely discussed most of it because lecture 10 and 11 is basically the exercise 1 and 2. So we have come to now module 3. We already discussed about the activities of the self in detail. So now we are going to talk about human being. So if you look at the 5 modules, module 1 was introduction to the course, in which we recapitulated what we have discussed in UHV-2, and then we talked about the all-encompassing resolution in lecture 6. So can we recall the 9 steps? Right, starting with right understanding, wisdom, science, yes, work, yes. Then undivided society, universal human order, human tradition, right. And then the congruence of human tradition to wisdom. If you remember, there was a congruence, isn't it? Okay. So congruence means that something that I decided at the level of wisdom, I am able to see the same thing in the tradition. So that authenticates something that I decided at the level of wisdom, I am able to see the same thing in the human tradition. So that is an authentication of my right understanding in living. So that's how this congruence has been placed.